This is a Squiz Kids podcast. Your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you.
They promise freedom and fun. They blur the lines between toys and vehicles, and they've sparked big debates in cities around the world. This is your Squiz Kids Shortcut to e-bikes and e-scooters, the podcast where we dive into the who, what, where, when, why and how of the big news stories. I'm Christie Kids.
And I'm Bryce Corbett.
Bryce, you're wearing a helmet today.
Yes, I am, because I'm researching e-bikes and e-scooters.
On the computer. Bryce, I've heard about being safe online, but aren't you taking it a little bit too far?
Well, maybe, Christy, but have you tried figuring out the rules for e-bikes and e-scooters in Australia? I mean, different states, different speeds, different roads. I thought I'd probably better protect my brain.
So this is safety gear for internet research.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I've just gotten myself a new e-bike. And before I take it anywhere, I want to make sure that I actually understand what's allowed and what isn't.
Which is a very sensible place to start.
In today's shortcut, we're riding back through where e-bikes and e-scooters came from, unpacking why adults are so concerned about them, and exploring how people can use them safely. So, grab your helmet and let's hit the bike path.
Listen carefully, there's a squiz at the end.
Where?
So to understand why e-bikes and e-scooters are causing so much debate today, we need to head backwards before we move forwards, because these ideas are much older than they look.
So, they didn't just pop up overnight?
Not at all. For more than 100 years, inventors have been trying to create small electric vehicles for short trips, long before apps or smartphones even existed.
Yeah, basically people have always wanted an easier way to get around.
Yeah, exactly. But the modern scooter most people recognise today really took shape in the 1990s when a Swiss inventor named Wim Uberter designed a fold-up kick scooter to solve what's called the last mile problem.
Now, the last mile problem is the little bit between getting off public transport and getting to where you actually want to go.
Oh, that's the worst bit. Wim later said that he wanted a simple way to travel short distances, including a trip to a nearby sausage stand without using a car.
So it all comes down to sausages.
Yeah.
You're telling me that modern scooters may or may not have been inspired by snacks.
Yeah, convenience at least. And the idea caught on really quickly. Kick scooters became hugely popular in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Did you have one, Bryce?
I absolutely did not, no. Of course, those kick scooters still weren't electric.
No. Early electric versions existed, but they were really heavy and impractical. The real turning point came in the 2010s when lithium-ion batteries became lighter, cheaper, and much, much more powerful.
And that explains why e-scooters suddenly exploded in the 2010s rather than earlier. Now, speaking of exploded...
Oh yes, there are some important dangers that we need to talk about, especially when it comes to powerful batteries and how these vehicles are used.
Which might explain why adults, like myself, are paying such close attention to e-scooters now, and why there's so much concern.
Why?
So, Bryce, if e-bikes and e-scooters were designed to make getting around easier, why is it that adults are so worried about them now?
Well, Christy, that's because they're not just fun gadgets anymore. They're vehicles. Some of them can in fact travel at speeds similar to that of cars on suburban streets.
Wow.
And when speed increases, so does risk.
Oh yeah, especially when they're mixing with pedestrians, bikes and other traffic. Emergency services across Australia say that they're seeing more serious injuries linked to e-bikes and e-scooters, including things like broken bones, head injuries, and in some cases, even deaths.
Which I know is very hard to hear, but it's very important also to understand.
Exactly. It's not about scaring anyone. It's about explaining why adults are paying close attention. Children and teenagers, they don't always have the same judgment, reaction time, or experience as adults do, especially in busy traffic.
And even if they feel confident, confidence is not the same as control. Another big concern is that the technology powering these vehicles, the lithium-ion batteries you were just talking about, is the same kind of technology that's used in phones and laptops.
Yeah, lithium-ion batteries are brilliant because they store heaps of energy in a small space. That's what makes e-bikes and e-scooters light and powerful. But if something goes wrong, that energy can be released very quickly.
Yeah, and that's why most lithium battery fires don't happen while the vehicle is being ridden. They happen while they're being charged, especially if a battery is damaged, poorly made, charged with the wrong charger, or left charging overnight near flammable materials.
And firefighters keep reminding people to charge them safely and never block exits in your home or wherever the bike or scooter's charging. It's also why adults should be cautious about cheap or modified batteries. Changing a bike to make it go faster might seem clever, but it can make it much more dangerous.
That's right. And then there are some electric bikes that cause even more confusion.
Oh yeah, like Surons.
Yep, like Surons. They look like bikes, but they ride more like motorbikes.
Surons are powerful electric dirt bikes. In most parts of Australia, they're not legal to ride on public roads, footpaths or on bike paths unless they're registered and meet strict safety rules. And many of the models sold are designed for off-road use only.
So riding one on the street because it's quiet or electric doesn't make it legal.
Exactly, but you might have seen videos online that can make that kind of riding look normal or harmless, even when it isn't.
And of course that puts us adults in a very tricky position, Christy.
Yeah, it does, because keeping kids safe isn't always about doing what kids want. It's about understanding what a machine can do and whether it belongs on a road, a path or a track at all.
Of course, e-bikes and e-scooters aren't a problem everywhere. In places like Copenhagen in Denmark, where there are wide protected bike lanes, e-bikes work really well. Riders have space, there are clear rules, and there are fewer conflicts between cars and pedestrians.
And in Singapore, the rules are strict and they're clearly enforced. On the other hand, some cities have really struggled. Paris, for example, banned shared e-scooters after residents voted against them, saying that they were too dangerous and cluttered footpaths.
So it's not just about the vehicle, it's also about the roads, the rules, and how ready a city is for them. Which brings us to the big question. If e-bikes and e-scooters are here to stay, how can people use them safely?
How?
So, if e-bikes and e-scooters are here to stay, the big question is, how can people use them safely, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them too? And I guess the first thing to understand is that speed really changes everything. So the faster that something moves, the longer it can take to stop, and the harder it is to react when something unexpected happens, like a car door opening or a pedestrian stepping out.
Exactly, or a pothole you didn't see coming. And this, Christy, is why helmets are so important. Not as a rule to tick off, but as protection for your brain if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and not just wearing one that fits properly and having the clips done up. It can't help you if it doesn't stay on your head.
Another big safety factor is visibility. Bright clothing, lights and reflective gear help others to see you, especially in low light or bad weather, because being seen can be just as important as seeing.
And riding location matters too. So footpaths can feel safer, but they're often unpredictable because pedestrians move suddenly and not everyone expects a fast-moving vehicle besides them.
Yeah, that's right, which is why rules about where you can ride exist, even if they're sometimes confusing.
Oh yeah, that confusion is exactly why checking the rules where you live is so important. What's allowed in one state or country might not be allowed in another, and that's where the adults come in. They have a really big role to play here.
They surely do. Adults are responsible for choosing the right type of vehicle, making sure that it's legal, and setting boundaries around where and how it's used.
Yeah, some electric bikes and scooters are simply not designed for kids or for public roads, no matter how fun they look online.
And then, of course, there's battery safety. Lithium batteries should always be charged with the correct charger, in a clear space and never left charging overnight. If a battery is damaged, it shouldn't be used. And if something doesn't seem right, then, well, it probably isn't.
Safer riding isn't about bravery or showing off to your mates. It's about planning ahead, knowing your limits, and understanding that you're sharing a space with other people.
Which means thinking beyond just yourself. When e-bikes and e-scooters are used thoughtfully with the right rules and the right infrastructure, they can be a great way to get around. They work best, of course, though, when everyone riders, adults, and even the cities that they're operating in take responsibility and all look out for each other.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What problem was the fold-up scooter designed to help solve? Was it A, The Last of Us, B, The Last Frontier, or C, The Last Mile? Well done if you said C, The Last Mile.
Question number 2. What made e-bikes and e-scooters suddenly much more user-friendly and popular in the 2010s? Excellent listening if you knew that it's lithium batteries making them lighter and more powerful.
Question number 3, true or false? If a vehicle is quiet and electric, it's automatically legal for anyone to ride it. That statement is false.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us as we explored the who, what, where, when, why and how of e-bikes and e-scooters.
Now get out there and have a safe and most excellent day.
Over and out.